Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Vulnerability Time. Y'all, it is so lovely to have y'all here once again. I know y'all get tired of me thanking y'all, but I want to thank y'all so much for the support. I could not have done this without y'all. Thank y'all for, making this podcast go international. Thank y'all to the special guest for also helping that. This is no longer my podcast. This isn't our podcast, folks. If you're listening or if you're a special guest, this is our podcast, ours. So I want to thank y'all. With that being said, I am your host and a published author, Trenton Epizon Rucker. Welcome to another episode of Vulnerability Time. So, folks, I've been waiting for this episode. I'm so excited. Our special guest, Queen. Help me pronounce your name. I don't want to pronounce.
Ajna Surah of the Healing Place Dynasty.
Yes, Queen. So tell us a little bit about you. Let's get to know you before we jump in.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me here. And thank you to all of your listeners and participants and supporters of your platform. You all, as influencers and authors and teachers and helpers and healers and students, we cannot do this without you. So all of you, under the sound of my voice, we thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being here. I am Queen Ajna Surah of the Healing Place Dynasty, and I'm also an author, but I run an international healing and solutions service. And what I do is I just help people find their way along their journey in life and lead and guide people back into themselves and help people reconnect to the God in themselves. And so often we suffer. We suffer so significantly because our lives are out of order. And I just do my best with the help of God to assist people getting back in order. So that's what I do.
Yes, Queen. Tell us a little bit. I know you have a webinar coming up, September 4th, you said?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for asking. So September the 4th, 2022, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it will begin. I wrote a healing guide, Hurt to Help Finding Your Healing Place, Volume 1. And the healing guide literally is a guide. It's not a book for your entertainment. It is a guide for your evolution. And it is for pain, identity, and recovery. So we will be digging in really, really deep and expounding upon the lessons of how to identify where you are in your life, what your hurting places are, and how to progress to the next level, and how to heal yourself and soothe yourself. And then after you get to a more stable place, and even on your journey to stability, how to put boundaries and standards around yourself to protect you so that you won't end up there again. And even if you do end up there again, what to do to forgive yourself and comfort yourself, and how to be kind to yourself when you find yourself in the predicament where you swore you'd never be again, and how you landed there. So that's what I do. Join us September the 4th, 2022. The link is in the bio on I Am Ajna Surah. I Am Ajna Surah on TikTok. I Am Ajna Surah on Facebook. I Am Ajna Surah on Instagram. And yeah, y'all can come and find me. I am here to love on you and love with you and build with you. And yeah, we're all navigating through something. So you're not alone. That's what I'm here to let you know. You're not by yourself, baby. You're just not alone.
Yes. And folks, that all of the Queen's media platforms will be in the episode description below. The webinar information will be in the episode description below as well. The Queen's book will also be in the episode description below. I highly recommend.
And you know what? Just for you, Trenton, with your people, I'm going to love on y'all. I'm going to give you guys an extra little. We're going to do a flash sale. When you announce it, we'll do a flash sale and we'll show some people some love. For those of you who participate and listen to the podcast, I'll send my people over there, and that's how you all will be able to get the code. So the code will be vulnerability. That will be the code. So in order to get the code, you got to listen to the podcast. So go over there, y'all. Check it out. You won't regret it. We're going to love on you guys. We're going to save you some money while you heal yourself, because the economy has changed, baby. economy has changed and it's a lot going on right now. And I want to make this healing simple for you. It ain't easy because I can't do it for you, but we're going to make it as simple as possible and to support you. So I'm going to show you some love and I may even do a flash sale and do the entire marketplace on sale. So check out Vulnerability Podcast. We're going to grow together. We're going to heal together. I see you, Trenton, baby. I support your journey. I absolutely do.
Thank you, Queen. Oh my gosh, folks, I've been being inspired by the Queen for about a couple months now. I started following her on Instagram. One of my good friends who's a huge fan of yours, she had shared one of your videos, and ever since then, I tune into every live. I have my notifications on only because of you. I never done that before, but only because of you. And I mean, I know we're about to jump into topics, but I do just want to say, I'm so proud of you and so inspired from you, not because of what we see on the stage, but because there's so much that happened behind the stage. There's so much that we don't see. It's not always been, great and awesome, and it's been some struggles, and that is what inspires me the most, is because I don't know specifically what you've been through, um, but I do know when it comes to, I've watched a couple of your videos, and it seems like you've had every right to give up sometimes, and you didn't. And that is so inspiring. That is what's super inspiring to me.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, folks, I want to get into our topics. So our topics today, and y'all know this is conversational, so but our topics today will be trusting after trauma, not giving up, and who or what helped you heal. Queen, which trusting after trauma.
Oh, that's the one. You're gonna dig right in. You're gonna do me like that, Trenton.
Right into
right
it.
In, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. What we gonna do?
What is your story with that? How does that resonate with you? Trusting after trauma. What does that look like?
Goodness. Trusting after trauma. I am so grateful that you asked this question because it's such an essential for people that are on their healing journey. And as you navigate through your human experience, being God in the flesh, allowing God to experience life through you, you learn how to trust in the divinity of your highest power, which is the divinity of the resource inside of you that keeps your heart beating. And every time that you give glory to anything other than that, you're going to find yourself in compromised positions. So when you find yourself trusting outside of you, and those people are not getting their information from the divine source of the creator itself, then you're going to find yourself in a position where your trust has been compromised. And now your relationship with yourself is even more disconcerted and contorted and manipulated, and even to the degree that it devolves and it mutates, because now you can't identify how to trust yourself because the part of you that wanted to trust something trusted outside of you. So I believe that the healing journey of trust is to begin the relationship with yourself all over again. It's not to try to trust outside of you, because everything outside of you is the reason why you no longer trust your insides. So it's building relationship with you again from the inside out. And that's how you begin to restore yourself after mistrust. And we can get into some examples of that, but that's really the foundation, going back within yourself and learning to trust yourself again. And if you don't trust yourself again, how do you become somebody that you deem to be trustworthy? So what kind of person is a trustworthy person? I'll even ask you, you can tell me, what kind of person is a trustworthy person to you?
Oh, you know what? I have not even thought about that question
in
my life. So let me see if I can answer that. You know what? I will say this. Actions do do speak louder than words sometimes? I mean, I'm not saying people are gonna be perfect. You know what? Actually, I don't know how to answer that question, Queen. I'm
Well,
just
that's
being honest.
great. And I'm so grateful that I was able to pose that question to you,
Yeah.
because at any point you feel disconnected to yourself
Hmm.
and you don't trust your intuition, or you don't know where to look to for guidance, it's directly correlated to the fact that you can't even properly identify what is trustworthy. So when you begin to say, okay, these are trustworthy factors, these are the things that I can name off with integrity that would allow me to feel comfortable in the relationship of trusting you.
Hmm.
Now, am I those things to myself? So, for example, honest, integral, perseverance, patience, humility, longevity. If these factors are factors that cause you to feel like that person is trustworthy, do you possess them? And if you don't possess them, that's the reason why you don't trust yourself. So,
Mm.
rekindling the fire of the relationship with you, blowing on those smoldering embers of the relationship with yourself, you begin
Yes.
to be honest with yourself. You begin to say, you know what? I can identify clearly how I lied to myself in this situation. And even when the truth hurts me so much, it doesn't hurt me as much as trusting outside of myself and then having to rebuild myself in the confusion of the calamity of being alone and not even trusting me by myself, which is the reason why I always look for distractions to not be alone, because I don't even trust me with me. So
Mm.
I begin to be honest
Yes.
and hold myself accountable. And then I begin with that foundation. And upon that foundation, just like it is written in sacred text, upon this rock I build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. In that specific aspects, when you begin to build on that foundation of honesty, nothing can come against you that you haven't already dealt with within yourself. And honesty also comes with a preparation. Honesty prepares you for the possibility of whatsoever circumstances in your life when you weren't honest with yourself that may have manifested. It allows you to be kinder, to set the foundation of forgiveness. And once you forgive yourself, you begin to love yourself. Because in order for you to truly love yourself, you have to forgive yourself.
Mm.
And love does what? It covers a multitude of sins. So even the times when you feel like you sinned against yourself in the past because of the lack of love that you had yourself, the love that you have for yourself now allows you to build your foundation in truth and cover your multitude of sins, to forgive yourself for the things that you did when you didn't know you. So, yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, you, Queen, because this is the thing. I've actually been trying to, define and figure out what trust is. And I
Mm-hmm.
was looking, on the outside because, that's where my trust was taken. I, look,
Well, it wasn't where
99.
it was taken, it was where you gave it away. Because, see, nobody can take it from you. See, we
Even.
always like to position ourselves to feel like they stole it from us,
Mhm.
but we often show that these are treasures. And we know that this individual is a thief. We know it's like having a cousin or a best friend that's a booster. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I got some partners that, that they put their hands on stuff, and they put their hands on good stuff. And I've been in a position in certain parts of my experience where I will buy the stuff that they put their hands on. And I would
Right.
feel like I was getting a deal. But then I
Mhm.
was posed with a circumstance in my life where one of those individuals stole from me.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I wanted to have this epiphany that they're a thief. And the truth is, they always struggle. We just didn't think that they would do that to us. But people are going to be who they are. And it wasn't that they would never do it to you. It was never that they found something of value to the degree that they wanted to take it. And then once they seen the value, they begin to act out who they are.
Mhm.
So we have to change the root of who we are. If you're dishonest at your core, if you know you lie, and you deal with people that you tell the truth to, and you always are honest with them on the level until you're faced with a situation where you're presented with the opportunity to lie at your advantage, then all of a sudden you are your natural self. You are a liar. But
Right.
in those circumstances, if you're no longer a liar, even when it's inconvenient for you, you won't say nothing if necessary.
Mhm.
but you will tell the truth if you have to. But the lie is off the table now. And that's
Right.
where pleading the fifth comes in. I'm not going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to tell you a lie. I'm not going to tell you nothing.
Right.
But there was once a time where you just would have elected to lie. Why? Because you were a liar. There was a time you would elected to steal. Why? Because you're a thief. So it changes at the core of you.
Right. Queen, and that's first off, I need that. Ooh, I needed to hear a lot of that. I really did, and I'm sure folks listening, you know, um, can definitely take a lot from what you just said, because trust. Woo, trust. It seems sometimes so hard to get, so easy to lose. It feels like. Um, I would say this though. Trusting after trauma for me, I most of 99.99% of my trauma came from men. Okay,
Okay.
they did abuse in every single way my whole childhood, and so I grew up hating men. I was like, I'm attracted to men, but at the same time, I hate them, can't trust them, yada, yada, yada. And as I started healing and learning myself, I have realized, whatever trust is to me now, and it's still a journey, it was not how it was 5 years ago. So you mentioning that actually makes me think, wow, okay, go me, but yeah, so I mean, it was so hard for me, to trust men. And also, I also couldn't really trust myself as well, because, you know, back then I saw it as a, like, and this is before my healing journey. I saw them like, it's my fault. I couldn't defend myself. And my counselor told me back then, she was like, you were 3 years old. You were 4 years
Mm-hmm.
old. Of course you weren't gonna be able to defend yourself. Look, these are grown adults that did this, grown men. Let me stop. I'm working on my biases. I'm working on my biases. But I don't hate men no more, y'all, I swear. But yeah, and so the
Well, you
whole
know what? You can't hate men and love yourself.
I'm sorry, say it again. It like
I said, you can't hate men and love yourself. So the
right.
more forgiving relationship that you have with yourself, the more positive relationship you will have with men. And I don't
Yes,
mean just men
yes.
in relationship types of situation. I mean the man inside of you. As the little boy grows up, see, you had a compromised position with your reflection. It's kind of like little girls who are abused by their mothers or by other women or by the babysitter or whatever the case may be. And they end up having distorted relationships with themselves.
Mhm.
And in distorted relationships with themselves, they reflect that back and they mirror that back, and it attracts the experiences of distorted relationships with other people. As a survivor of extreme childhood sexual abuse, I was sexually molested from the age of 5 to 13. I actually write about my experience in Hurt to Help Finding Your Healing Place, Volume 1. And I
Yes.
go into detail about certain experiences that I survived through. And what happens is when you realize that you need protection from what was supposed to protect you, and what was supposed to protect you looks like you begin to have a hate relationship with your reflection.
Mhm.
And so you end up looking for love in places to replace the hate that you feel at your core. So now everything is out of order and it's all jumbled up. And
Mhm.
as we said when we first started this discussion, when things are out of order, we suffer. So as you get your life back in order, you will continue to heal and end your suffering. So it's not that you hated men, it's that you were a stranger to yourself. And the
Mhm.
more that you get to know you, the more that you can respect the process of who to trust and who not to trust. And it's not
Right.
even that you don't trust them, it's that you don't know them.
Preach.
Does that make sense to you?
1000%. Literally 1000%. Ooh, come through with the wisdom. What? Oh, wow.
So
I
why
needed.
should I allow you
Yeah.
influence on my experience as I'm doing my best to navigate through my healing with integrity? Why would I allow you to influence me when you could possibly infect me? physically, spiritually, and otherwise, when you haven't given me a reason to trust you,
Right.
vibrationally or otherwise. We don't even have to know these people. We can feel the frequency of stranger danger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when your intuition is off, and when the God in you, when the signal is distorted and you're not attuned properly, and it's a lot of static in the frequency, you will get mixed messages, and you won't hear things clearly, and you won't feel things clearly, and your intuition will go from a roar to a whisper. And when it used to hit you and say, hey, Trent, don't go over there. Don't let them do that. Don't let them touch you. Don't touch them. Don't do that. It'll go from, nudging you and budging you to whispering. Trent, don't do that. You're like, right. I thought I heard something. Oh, never mind. I didn't hear anything. And then you walk right into the danger zone because you're disconnected.
Yeah. And, that's a thing that you had mentioned about, hate and all that good stuff. I want to thank all my guy friends who are listening to this for helping, being patient with me and loving me, loving parts of me back together. I just want to thank them. I know they're tired of hearing it, but I'm gonna continue thanking them. Because I definitely could not have done this alone. And then also, and something I mentioned in my book. Look at us go. We got our books going.
Hey, author.
I know, right? I mentioned, how hate is a gun with boomerang bullets. And so it just seemed like every time I shot men, I was shooting myself. I honestly, this is vulnerability time. So let me fight my selective vulnerability real quick. First off, thank you for sharing, your experience with, molestation. The age that you mentioned, that's something that I am I'm growing in that area, but the age where it started is not that I can just easily talk about, but it's the age where it ended that is like hard for me to talk about. So 3 to 16. Like it waned off, but 16 was the last time, that happened. And yeah, and I know there's fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Apparently there's some other F's in there. But I definitely froze. I froze completely. And it's like bringing up this information because it's hard to talk about these things at first, so bringing up this information to someone who is supposed to, you would think a mom would do something about it, you know what I mean, and not just let it happen, and so that really just shut me out. It's like, so it's taken me, a while, and that's what like what you said, you know what I mean, that relationship with yourself can really project a lot, and so I'm honestly realizing the more I learn myself with counseling, therapy, research, medication, just my spiritual journey, the more I was, able to just open up to learn me, and my projections, it started looking a little different in a good way. So I'm like, okay, there are people that I can talk to, you know what I mean, who will receive me, who will validate. Yes. And so I will say this, because I'm definitely a person that still to this day, like I'm doing better with patience now, but I was definitely this has to happen now type of person. So for someone listening, just because it don't happen now, just because it does not happen now does not mean it will not happen, doesn't mean it will be never. And I mean that in the healing process. Be patient. It's okay to be patient. You know what I mean?
So what is patience to you?
See, I actually do know how to answer this one, at least to the best of my ability. So patience to me is how do I verbalize this? Because I've actually been asked this recently. Patience to me is basically this whole theme of delay doesn't mean denial, and delay does not mean done, and damage doesn't mean done. All of that wrapped up in one. That be in this present moment, be graceful to yourself, show grace to yourself. You know what I mean? For me, just work on healing yourself, loving yourself, loving others the best that you can. And honestly, the root of it is just being in the present moment. Because as a survival mechanism, I always had to look to the future, always had to look to the future and kind of like neglect the present, because I was afraid that the present might end up like the past. I was afraid that the future might end up like the past. So my thing is like, in this present moment, God has brought you out of those unhealthy environments. So those coping strategies that served you then, they don't serve you now. Be present. You are and he has really put me, and I really thank him for this. And I don't mean that in a cliche way, because God knows I'm honest with him. I'd be like, what the fuck, God? Like, what's going on? What's going on? But so when I say I'm really thanking him for this, I really mean that. I am in an environments now where I can bring my hurt, I can bring where I'm at in the present moment, and I don't have to necessarily always be looking at the future and focus on the future, because I'm too busy trying not to have a repeat. I'm not in those environments no more. I'm not. And I just thank God for it. And the fact that this came up, I went to my young adult church group, and this is the first ever, like, and I'm not really, me personally, I'm not really a fan of church. I just don't think anyways, let me not go to that. But just because my experience.
Church is interesting. So much has been left out of the sacred text and sacred teaching. Yeah, from Enoch to the books of Adam and Eve to the books of Jasher to the Jubilees. It's so much.
The book of Judith.
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. So I totally comprehend that. I get that completely. And I appreciate you sharing that aspect, because that's where so many people have dropped the ball that are supposed to be representatives of God. And they left so much God out of things that when people see you and hear you, they don't see God. They don't hear God. And when they feel you, they don't feel God, because you left God out for your convenience. And what happens when you leave your pain out, when you want to exempt yourself above experiences, and you get to, cherry picking over things to make yourself feel better. Well, I may be dealing with this, but I'm not dealing with that. When you get to looking for somebody who's worse off than you, so you don't have to address what's fucked up about yourself, that's when you get into the predicament where people don't see God and they don't hear God in you. So even with the measure of patience, and I deeply appreciate you sharing your experience and journey of being in the present moment and learning how to just be here and learning how to breathe right now and appreciate right now. If I may offer you a suggestion to accompany what you're doing right now, in the present moment should also be your moment of preparation for your future desires. And that is the epitome of patience.
Yes.
To be patient is to be prepared. And if you are actively preparing, then you realize that you have so much more work to do for what it is that you're desiring to conjure and manifest into your experience, that if it was to show up for you right now in this very moment, you probably wouldn't even know what to do with it. Be a great steward over it, because you're not properly prepared. So in the moments when you're feeling impatient and you want it right now, ask yourself, are you truly ready for what it is that you are desiring? And have you done proper inventory on what it is that you are wanting to manifest into your experience? Do you know the details of this? It's like somebody wanting a baby. They want a baby, they want a baby, they want a baby, or they want a puppy so bad. And because they're cute and because they look good in pictures. But then you get one and then you realize that you got to clean it up. You got to eat, you got to feed it. You got to bathe it. It needs stuff. So what are you manifesting? And do you realize what it's going to take for you to maintain your manifestation? So while you're so impatient about it, are you even prepared to maintain it? So that's the other key to preparation in the present moment. It'll be that manifestation of patience to that capacity. Are you really ready? Are you really ready? Because if you're not ready and you get it, you won't keep it long and it'll be temporary. And aren't you tired of renting things? Aren't you tired of not having enough to own it? So you just got to rent it. You got to rent it. You got to lease it until they come and take it back from you because it's beyond what your capacity to maintain.
Yeah. Wow. Y'all.
So what are you prepared for?
Yes.
Do you have a storehouse? Are you really ready? So the moments that I get impatient about things, I get to manifesting the future of it being done and what I'm going to do with it and how I'm going to move with it and giving God the glory in the midst of it so that I know that I'm really ready. And I give out the vibration of preparedness, and preparedness meets you with a desire. Because once you're ready, it shows up. So we don't realize the importance of labor pains. Labor pains get you prepared to go into birth. So are you ready? And when you're hurting, when it's got to hurt, it's preparing you for the birthing. And a lot of us don't even be ready for the birthing of it. And we have the audacity to think that we can maintain it after it's here. You ain't even ready to birth that with your impatient self.
Yeah.
You ain't even ready. You're not even prepared with your impatient self.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like for you to consider doing. For the things that you want to come into fruition, into your experience, ask yourself, are you genuinely prepared for them? And how have you prepared yourself? Examine your measures of preparation. Yes. How much patience are you going to need for this? While you're impatient about it, do you know how much patience this is going to require of you once it manifests in your experience? Wow. Like a relationship. People be wanting to be in a relationship. Do you know how much patience relationships are going to cost you to work effectively? Do you know how much patience you're going to need in order to manifest this with integrity and let it hold weight and let it be the anchor of this set of circumstance? But you want it right now. That means you ain't got no patience. In order for you to keep it, you're going to need some patience. So it's stretching you out. It's giving you what you need. So prepare yourself. Does that make sense to you, King?
1000%. Look, because I've actually been praying a lot about that, actually, and I'm like, I know there's something more, there's something I'm not getting, something.
Yeah, you need to get ready. That's what you're not getting. You're not getting ready. You're not getting ready. That's what you need to get. Yes. Stop asking me for what you're not ready for. Because when I ask you, what are you going to do with it? You don't know outside of just having it. And then what? How do you maintain it? How do you clean it? How do you keep it up to the standard? You want a car? Do you got some gas money? Because it don't work without gas money.
Right.
You want a house? Do you even know how to clean up? Because you don't take your house up if you don't clean your house up. So practice cleaning up. Practice in your area. Prepare yourself. Because how you practice is how you perform. And we don't even get good practice in. You know why? Because practice takes what? Patience. And we so impatient. Because your practice is your preparation. And how you prepare is how you perform.
Wow.
So I would like for people to consider that.
Queen, I swear it's like you've been listening to my prayers for the last 3 days. I'm so serious. Like, I don't know where my journal is, but I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. Yes, Lord. I'm getting emotional. I mean, y'all know I cry a lot, y'all. So I'm getting emotional.
But you know what?
Beautiful tears.
Crying is cleansing.
Yes.
Because there are some things on the soul, like on your soul. You got some things on your soul that only pain can remove. So ain't nothing wrong with a soul shower. Baptize you, get you clean. Sometimes the energy of the Creator itself will allow you to have a salt exchange, because it's from a spiritual level. Salt is the only exchange for you to attain certain things spiritually. So you will be able to exchange it from the salt of the blood of your sacrifice, because you know your blood got salt in it, from the sweat of your brow, you know your sweat got salt in it, and the salt of your tears, you know your tears have salt in them. So either you're going to cry about it, you're going to sacrifice for it, or you're going to work it out. So you're just paying your dues, baby.
Yes. Queen. What or who has helped you heal?
I'm in a constant evolution. My children are my greatest lessons. You know, I learned from my mommy. I have one of my best friends in all of the living world, my Nas, my Nova. She's helped me tremendously. I have pillars.
Yeah.
People that matter, people that the Creator has allowed to come into my experience. But what has helped me heal the most, in all honesty, at this stage in my journey, oh my God, are the people who have tried to hurt me the deepest. Because according to the law of polarity, you can only experience the measure of happiness equated to your experience with the deepest level of pain that you've ever known. So if you can hurt that bad, that means you can be that happy.
Oh my goodness. My.
So even according to your experience in your life, the detriment that you've known, the pain that you've experienced, the lies, the betrayals, the violations physically, spiritually, mentally, and otherwise. People touching you everywhere, going in your everything, making you do things that felt good but unnatural, you know. All of those things are correlated to your capacity to be able to measure your version of happiness. So as you measure your version of happiness, whatever that is for you, whatever peace is for you, and you get connected to your divine Creator, which helps you use yourself to your greatest abilities so that other people can quit using you. See, we feel so used by other people because they know how to use us better than we know how to use ourselves, because we are strangers to ourselves. So that's what the pain, the processing teaches you how to use yourself. It teaches you how you work.
Yeah.
And once you learn how you work, you go to your Creator and it gives you instructions on your user manual. See, that's the issue. So many of us try to manipulate ourselves by going to other people to teach us about us, as opposed to going to our divine Creator. If you want to know you, go to your Creator. And we feel disconnected because we don't go to our Creator. We don't go inside of ourselves. And once you start to go inside of yourself and examine yourself differently, building it on the foundation of honesty with yourself, so now I can trust me. See, we're not honest with ourselves, so we don't trust ourselves. So even when ourselves is telling us to do or don't do something positive that will enhance our journey, we have such a distorted relationship with ourselves, because the last time we allowed somebody to infiltrate the communication with ourselves and we got the messages crossed and mixed up. And so now we feel like the last time that I felt this way, the last time that I trusted you, you got my heart broke. So I ain't trusting you no more. But that's not true. The last time that you got your heart broke, we kept telling you that we shouldn't make this decision and we shouldn't let this person in and we shouldn't love this person. But since you decided that that's what we're going to do, we did it. So we have to go to the foundation of the decision making within ourselves and hear ourselves differently. And the more that you learn yourself and the more honest that you are for yourself, the more respect that you will have for yourself. And we listen to the people that we respect. And we don't listen to ourselves because we don't have no respect for ourselves. And we go out into this world allowing other people to disrespect us.
Wow.
Does that make sense to you?
1000%. Queen, I'm just... Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And our last topic, Queen, not giving up. what about that resonates with you a little bit, or a lot of bit, honestly? Because I know we've had our moments.
I be wanting to give up. Okay. Sometimes I want to give up all the time. I had thoughts about giving up this morning. But it's conversations like these that the Creator allows me to see the manifested differences that I make in the lives of other people that keep me holding on as I prepare myself for what it is that I'm manifesting. And I remember the labor pains. See, when you in labor, you kind of want to give up, but you got to push through because you know what you're birthing. So in those moments when I want to give up so bad, I have to remember what I'm birthing. And that is your why. See, if your why ain't big enough, you're going to give up. And your why can't be outside of yourself. Your why can't be your children, your parents, your relationships, your lover, your boss, your best friend, then your favorite cousin. Them can't be your why. Your lover can't be a part of your why. They can benefit from why, but they can't be a part of your why. And this is why they can't be why. This is why your children can't be why. Your lovers, your mother, your father, your cousin, they can't be your why. Because in the event that something happens with a relationship between you and them, and it can. If your mama is your why and your mama died. If your child is your why and your child disrespects you, get in a car accident, die. Your lover leave you. Your favorite cousin turn on you. Your best friend abandoned you. Your lover cheat on you. You know, now you ain't doing it no more because they were the reason why you were doing it. But when you place your why in the foundation and you in your relationship with God, you don't leave you. See, it said that God won't leave you or abandon you, and your beating heart is the proof. Every time your heart beating, that's God saying, I got you. Every time you take a deep breath, God's saying, still here.
Yes.
So when you want to give up and your heartbeat is saying, we ain't giving up. And when you say, I give up, God say, but I don't.
Yes.
So that's what keeps me going, you know, amongst other things. And then I get the confirmation. Yes. I get the confirmation outside of myself after I got the message from inside. See, the confirmation may come from outside, but the origin comes from the inside. And then symbols and signs are for the conscious minds. Once I get the message from the inside and I begin to take to an awareness, now I'm able to identify the confirmation outside of me. And it helped me hear differently.
That's to me. I just didn't know how to verbalize it correctly, but like when I tell my friends, I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit told me something and you just confirmed it. I literally thought, because no one else has told me that. I mean, I'm not saying it don't happen to other people, but I've never heard, you're the first person in my life, you know what I mean, that is even like verbalized and mentioned that. I was like, I was like, I can't be the only one. No way. Just because someone don't talk about it. No.
Yeah, I'd be ready to give up. I'd be ready to, I mean, like Marvin Gaye, when he said, make me want to holler and throw up both my hands, I'd be ready to give it up at times in my journey. And then I open that phone up and somebody would be like, Queen, you instructed me to do this. I did it. And I just want to tell you thank you because this put me in a situation, did this. Now me and my child has the best relationship, or me and my husband are back together, or me and my mother are talking again, and my father is out of the hospital now, and I got the job. And it just be like God said, if you do what I told you to do, you're going to reap the benefits, but you just got to be obedient. Now, do you hear me? Okay, you heard me, but are you listening? And when I get the confirmation, I go from hearing to listening. See, I heard it, and then it confirmed it, and now I'm listening.
Right.
And so you can't talk and listen at the same time. You can talk and hear. The music is on. You can hear the music, and you can talk over your favorite song if you want to. Right. But if you in that moment and your record on, and it comes to your part, now everybody got to shh, because I got to listen to this. And that's the confirmation. So you know when you're getting a confirmation because you go from hearing to listening. So what you listening to? Who you listening to? And what they telling you. Because that's important. So that's what I do. When I want to give up, every time I want to give up, every time I've ever wanted to give up, here come God with some confirmation.
Yeah, look at God. Y'all, out of respect for the Queen's time, this episode's about to wrap up. However, I just can't end this episode without saying a little something. The Queen just reminded me of something, and I hope this encourages someone. So, a couple of years ago, folks, I was just sitting down studying, and one of my acquaintances, he said hello, just smiling, but I just felt like something was off. So I wrote him a letter and just let him know that he's important. I don't know why, it was really weird. And he comes back the next day telling me that he was on his way to his room actually to take his life if it wasn't for that letter. I had no clue. What the moral of this, well, the point that I'm trying to make from this story is something that the Queen just mentioned. Um, if your heart is still beating, keep believing. There's a purpose. You're not here for no reason. You are the reason someone smiles, because that person could be crying, you could be putting them down, but you're the reason someone smiles. You could be the moon in someone's darkest night, because the moon shines bright even darkest nights. You could be that, and you probably are that, folks listening. Don't give up. Don't give up. You deserve the happiness coming your way. Don't give up. You are here for a reason. Somebody needs you, whether they're in your life now, or whether they're going to be in later, or whether they have been before and you just don't even realize it. Folks, you just never know how much of a blessing you are to someone. And not everyone expresses gratitude in the same way. Some people don't go up and tell you, you know what, you just did this for me and I just want to thank you. Not everyone does that. Some people are like, they go back to their car and they're like, wow, I needed that act of kindness, or I needed this or that. So folks, you are not worthless. You are so valuable. You are here for a reason. And if you're listening to this, and especially Queen right now, I'm just so thankful that you were born. I'm so thankful that you were born. Seriously.
Well, I will share this with you, and I don't mean to, I know that we're going to respect the time and everything, but just to share it with you a little bit about my journey, what you even saying, I'm so thankful that you were born in this moment as you give me confirmation, and the Creator allows me to have the functioning of my ears and auditory power to not only hear you, but to listen. Because there has been 4 times in my life where I've attempted to take my own life, and 3 times that I've ended hospitalized for attempt to end my own life. And for you to tell me today that you're grateful I'm alive, it's just further confirmation that God knows what God doing in your life. You see what I'm saying? And I want people to know this, even if you look around and there is nobody that is confirming your brilliance, and there is nobody that is affirming your power, and all around you is sinking sand, and nobody is happy with you, and you've made so many mistakes, and you fucked up so much that nobody want nothing to do with you no more, and you're isolated and alone, and you're having to face the reality of the decisions that you made. What I'm telling you is, touch your chest and feel your beating heart, because that's your license to get forgiven from God. You understand me? The God in you is saying, I still ain't gave up on you. And your beating heart is proof that if you desire to change your ways and you build your foundation right here at rock bottom from the honesty of you just starting to be honest with yourself and change your ways, your whole life will change. And your beating heart is proof of that. So even if don't nobody tell you that they love you and you matter, I'm telling you right now, your beating heart is telling you, I ain't gave up on you yet. How dare you give up on yourself? So I just want to tell you guys that I appreciate you, and I'm going to let you close out. But if I may end this the way that I end conversations with the Healing Place Dynasty before you close out, because love is such an essential. And this is important for me to say, because the Creator of all things allowed for me to say this, because this has been such a ministry. My life has ministered to my life. in
Yes.
a different type of way. And that's the importance of journaling, y'all. Your journaling is your ministry. You are in the university of life. You are in the universe. This is the university. Class is in motherfucking session, family. You understand
Yes.
me? So you need to be studying, and you can't study when you don't take no notes. That is the importance of journaling. So if you don't have a journal, get you a journal. I may put some more up on my website. This might be what I may have to just start selling them again. But we need journals, y'all. You have to journal because you don't even know what you made it through until you can look back and see what you already made it through while you're feeling like you can't make it right now, and you've already lived through your darkest hours. You already seen the worst days of your life. If you can look inside yourself and see the light inside of you, that means you've already seen your darkest days. Your darkest days are over, because there was a time where you could look inside of you and you didn't see no light and you couldn't feel no warmth, and you made it. You here right now today. But if you don't journal, then you don't know. So please journal your journey, because it ain't for nobody right now but you. But if you do it properly, your grandchildren and your grandchildren's children, your grandchildren's children's children may find their grandmother, grandfather, great uncle, great auntie, great cousin's journal, and you get them through, and you the light in the night in a different type of way, because you had the capacity and the audacity to document your journey. Do you know that it takes audacity to document your journey, family? When everything around you and all around you is sinking sand, and you still desire to be positive and to manifest, it takes audacity, and audacity is magic. Because when you audacious and you ain't got nothing, that's all God needs. All God needs to make a miracle in your life is nothing. God waiting on you to have nothing so that God can be God. See, God likes to flex in your life. And if you can still work it out yourself, then you don't need God. See, if you can still figure your way out, that means you don't need faith. So the moment that you can't figure it out and you got to have faith, now God can be God. So if you are in some situations in your life where all you got is nothing, but you can conjure up some faith, then that's all God needs. That's why all it takes is a mustard seed. All it takes is a little bit. God do a whole lot with a little bit.
Yes.
So I encourage you to journey and journal in your life. And with this being said, if nobody has told you that they love you today, because love is such an essential, please allow me to be the first to say that I love you, and I like you, and I liked you, and I believe in you, and you inspire me to believe in myself. Trenton, I believe in you, and you inspire me to believe in myself, and I thank God for you.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. Folks, Queen, I actually, on my upcoming episodes that I've already recorded, I actually ended off something similar like that because of you. Literally because of you.
That's all right. Look, I don't own nothing. Everything is on loan. God made all of this stuff. Everything is on loan. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing new under the sun.
Yes. And that, it inspires me, Queen, because I also am I attempted suicide and I actually completed it, which that actually started my faith journey because I got to meet some really special up there. It's really cool. It starts with a J. God is good, y'all. I'm telling you, God is good. Coming from a hardcore atheist person back then, whew, I'm glad he sent me back. I did attempt like 3 more times after that. One time ended up in the hospital. However, I'm glad it didn't end, folks, because looking at my life now, I would not have got to experience this redemption if I had ended it. And
you just getting started. You just getting started.
Yes.
Like, this is the beginning of whatever it is that you want to manifest. So make sure that you've investigated your manifestation accordingly so that you can stop feeling so impatient and you can get prepared, because it's on its way to you. And if you don't want it to get to you and can't identify you because you're not ready.
Yes.
Because it'll walk right past you because it don't know you.
Right.
So get ready.
Yes. Y'all, I know y'all are speechless because I'm speechless. Queen, literally, I'm literally speechless. I'm gonna go as soon as this episode's over. I'm going to go back and listen to it. I'm just gonna sit, listen to it. I'm gonna go to the coffee shop down the road and journal while I listen to this podcast episode. Queen, I want to thank you. We want to thank you we just thank you. You know, and I truly mean that. I don't mean that in a cliche way. I truly mean that. I hope you know I mean it too, because y'all know I started
When it's
crying.
real, you can feel it. And that's what I want people to know. Like, when it's real, you can feel it. So just stay in your most authentic vibration, because yes, I feel you. I feel you over here. It ain't nothing but 6 degrees of separation. And when we get in alignment, there is no separation. And I feel you. And I'm grateful for you too. And you matter. And you're just getting started. So get prepared. And don't be looking for your blessing and then be somewhere where it can't find you, because it's not lost. You are. So get somewhere and be still, because it's looking for you.
Yes.
And if you're not supposed to be over there, if you know what you desire ain't gonna be looking for you over there, stay your ass from over there, so we can find.
Yes.
You know.
I'm going to journal. See, I'm going to journal. This is Queen. Before we wrap up, tell us, remind us again about, which it will still be in the episode description below, folks. And Queen, what I'll also do is I'm gonna add the information that you send me from the episode description, and I'm gonna add it to my upcoming episodes that I've already recorded, so that, you know, because it's, at least for me, when it comes to episode descriptions on podcasts, it's hit or miss. Sometimes I'll read the episode description, sometimes I won't. I'll just start listening. So I'm gonna continue your information, my upcoming episodes.
That's so kind of you. Well, then I'm just gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create a code, right? And I'm gonna put a fair amount on there, and for those that get the blessing, and that's how we'll know who over there getting the blessing, because they'll use the code and they'll come and get the blessing, and the code will be vulnerability. So yes.
Y'all, and check out her book as well. Like I said, it'll be in the episode description below. Check out her Instagram.
Hurt to Help, Finding Your Healing Place, Volume 1. Yay.
Where can we get it at, Queen?
The link is in the bio on my page. IsaacsHealingPlace.com, and any of my social media. All of my social media handles are I am Ajna Surah. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on TikTok. I am Ajna Surah, and click the link and you can go to the marketplace. You can get your healing guide, you can get you some protective jewelry. You can get your ticket to the webinar. Y'all pull up on me. Let me teach y'all. Let me pull up so I can love on you. Don't you need some love, baby? Don't you need some love? Come on, let me love you.
I know that's right, Queen, because I moved to Indiana next week. And so I actually got it in my planner, because I have to have a planner. I forget everything. It's just sometimes I be forgetting stuff. I was like,
you moving to Indiana?
Yeah.
You are? Okay.
For grad school.
Okay.
Yes, and so I have it in my planner to get your book when I move, because then I'll know like my official address and the mailbox number, because I feel like if I order it here, I don't know if it'll get here in time. So, because I know with my book, sometimes it takes like 5 to 7 days. So
yeah, it depends when you mail media. Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna, when I get up there, but I have it in my planner to buy your book. Yes. So yes, I'll be in Indiana, folks. But alrighty, Queen. Thank you so much again. It was so lovely to have you. And
thank you.
Folks, I know season 1 is wrapping up. There's a couple more episodes after this that are going to release that are already recorded. It is an honor to have the Queen as one of my last episodes of the season. # season finale. But alrighty, folks.
To God be the glory. I mean, God is inside of us. We think that God done abandoned us because we done abandoned God. No, you take God everywhere you go.
Yeah. In you. He's in us, folks. He's with us. So present.
God is.
Yes. Well, Queen, let's say bye to the folks.
See you later, everybody. Peace. Are we hanging up right here, or are you disconnecting?
I'm just gonna hang up not hang up on you, hang up the recording.
Okay, because I got something